Today we shall see how to build a simple login app in Android Studio. Before starting, we need to know what are the basic requirements to build an Android app. We require Android phone, a USB cable with two softwares, that is Java JDK and Android Studio. Now we shall see how to download those two softwares. Go to browser and type Java JDK download. Click on the first link which you got on the browser. Then download. Then accept the license agreement. Then press on .exe file and it will start downloading. And I have already installed Java JDK. I will just pause it. You need to download and you should install those software. Now come to Android Studio downloading. Click on, that is the add, and this press on the second link and download Android Studio. It is 700 MB, and inside, after installation, you need to download 500 MB of SDK components, which will be automatically downloaded in your Android Studio. Now let us begin how to build a login application. Click on Android Studio and start a new Android Studio project. Then please select the empty activity and name it as my simple login application and select the language as Java, and remaining things keep it as it is and press finish. After this project is synced successfully, then we shall initially build the UI for the login app. You can build the UI in two ways, either by drag and drop mechanism or writing the text here. In any login procedure, we require two components mainly, that is email or the username along with the password. We shall see how to do those things. First, drag the text view here. And please apply the constraints for the each components likewise. And the text which displays here has to be entered in this column and type it as welcome to Code Android. Here you see that the text what you have entered here has been arrived here also. And to make it as something more beautiful, you can add color and the size of the text. Let it be 25 SP. Now we shall see what has happened to that code. Oh, nice. And let that text be appear as the center. We shall apply the gravity as center. See how beautiful it has been there. And if you want it to be bold, italics, you can apply those things also. Now the basic requirement is the email. Go to, in the palette session, go to text and there you get the email. And for this component also, apply all the constraints. For this email, you need to give the hint as enter your email. There it enters. The hint represents that as soon as you enter the string means as soon as you enter the email, the enter your email that hint will disappear. Then you need a password. And for this component also, please do apply the constraints. And for this, give your hint as enter your password. And here you go. And for after entering both your email and password, then you need a button which redirects for login. Take the button and drag and drop here. And you should do the same procedure as we did for text views like email and password. And name that button as login. To be more beautiful, you can give two other text views naming password and email. Go to text and for every component you drag and drop, you need to apply the constraints. And enter the text as email and here it has password. And we shall resize those component sizes. Same thing, text size as 10 sp and here also same thing, text size 10 sp. Okay, it is still smaller, then we shall do 20. Now we shall see how our UI looks in Android application by running this project. To define the functionalities for these components like text views like email, password, and button like login, we need to write some few lines of code to define their functionalities. And here comes our UI. See, this is only the user interface where we can't interact as present because still we have not defined any functionalities for them. And this is how our UI has been developed. Now we shall see the back-end part of the application. Initially, we need to declare few variables for those components. Now we shall see how our UI looks in Android application by running this project. To define the functionalities for these components like text views like email, password, and button like login, we need to write some few lines of code to define their functionalities. And here comes our UI. See, this is only the user interface where we can't interact as present because still we have not defined any functionalities for them. And this is how our UI has been developed. Now we shall see the backend part of the application. Initially, we need to declare few variables for those components. For text view, we shall declare email and password as the variables. That is private. Okay. Text view will be their data type. Then for button, private. Private keyword is for to prevent crashes of the app. Login button. Okay, it's of the type button. If it is indicated as red and you need to press Alt Enter so that we can import the class. The class for the button is imported by itself. Now it is time for initializing those variables. That is, we have declared an email variable, so we need to initialize that. Email is equal to data type. Text view is the data type. And to connect front end to back end, we need that ID. That is find view by ID or dot ID dot. To see the ID, we need to go for .xml and check that ID. It is given as edit text, so we shall make it as email ID. Then we need to initialize for pass variable. Pass is equal to data type, that is text view. Then connecting the ID, find view by ID or dot ID dot. We shall give ID for password as pass ID. We can give any name for those things. Pass ID. Then for we are initializing for button variable, that is login button is equal to data type, that is button, and find by id r dot id dot, and for button we shall give it as button id. Okay, that's we have completed our initialization. For any login application, there should be a stored email and password. So here now we are going to store a sample username and the password, so that we are declaring a string variable, that is stored email is equal to, we can give our own email addresses, code android at gmail.com. Also, to match with the given input username and password, we need also to store the password also, that is final string stored pass is equal to, we can give any password, let us say G1. Now we are going to match these stored uh, email and password to the given input email and password. For that, we need to define some functionalities for the button, that is login button on set on click listener, then new. By default, this function is defined in this set on click listener interface. Now we need to match the stored email and the given input email. To take the input from the UI, we are going to write these two lines. That is string post email is equal to, then to take input from password, post pass is equal to pass dot get text dot toString. These two lines of code will extract the given input, that is email and password. Using simple if-else statement, we are going to verify whether the user has given any input or not, and even whether the stored email is matching to the post email and stored password to the post password. Now we shall see how to define that if-else statement. If post email is empty, or even post password is empty, then we need to print the message as enter the details if any one of the column is empty. That is, we use toast for printing the messages. Post dot make text main activity dot this. Enter the details. This message enter the details is shown when user has not given any of the column, that is email or the password. Now we shall see what if user has given both the columns a value. That is, if post email, that is the value given by the user, is equals to stored email and post password is equals to the stored password. If it matches with both these conditions, then we it we need to print that sign is successful. The message to be displayed is entered within these two double quotes. Sign in is successful. The sign in is successful message is displayed when both stored email and stored password matches with post email and post password. What if the if those two conditions does not match? So we shall print that condition also. Else, if the parameters does not match, then we will be printing that the sign is unsuccessful. Now we shall run this application and see whether the code is working or not. You can see the message that sign in is successful. That means both the parameters, that is stored email and password, is matching with the post email and password. We shall check other condition also. What if we have given the wrong password? Sign in is unsuccessful. And what if any of the column is blank? Enter the details. Even if the both the values have been null, even the enter the details is message is shown. And that is with the simple application, that is simple login application in Android Studio. Thank you. This is Jeevan from Code Android. Have a great day.